No change in the commentary box, though. Tony Cottee and Alan Parry.
And if you're an Evertonian, well, you better look away now, because just when you think things can't get any worse, it's about to. Thierry Henry has joined the battle. He's been out for 5 matches with a groin injury. Before he was hurt, he scored 9 goals in 6 games, and he's got 30 for the season. He's still the Premiership's leading goal scorer with 25. Mathieu Flamini also on in place of Patrick Vieira. Henry replaces Robin van Persie, and as you could see, Everton have also made a change. And Marcus Bent is the man who has replaced James Beattie. Arsenal 3, Everton 0. As referee Alan Wiley gets the second half underway. Arsenal with just 4 defeats in the Premiership all season, against Manchester United home and away, and away games against Liverpool and Bolton. Strangely enough, they've only got 4 points fewer than they had at this stage last season, and of course they won the title and remained undefeated. It just underlines what a fantastic campaign Chelsea have had. Bent gets his first touch since replacing Beattie, who'll be very disappointed. He hasn't had that many first-team opportunities of late, so to be taken off at half-time, unless there's an injury we don't know about, a real blow for him.
I feel for him a little bit, because he didn't get the best of service since James Beattie. It is tough up there on your own. But they've made the change, Everton. And one thing Marcus Bent will provide for them is a bit more pace up front. If Arsenal are a bit sloppy at the back, like they was at times in the first half, and I'm sure Bent will exploit that. He's had a good season for Everton. He'll have a point to prove as well. Coming on now. I think all the substitutions are just straight forward swaps, position-wise.
David Weir's clearance. Pistone with a good ball, but McFadden fails to take it in his stride. That's disappointing.
He's in a good position there, James McFadden. He could have got hold of the ball. But already Everton looking a bit sharper at the start of this second half. I think I mentioned the fact that it took 40 minutes to put a tackle in. I think it was about 40 seconds when the first one came in from Lee Carsley there.
There's Cole. Everton have held on to 4th place for the last 4 months, and they haven't been out of a Champions League qualifying position since early September. There have been times when they seem to have lost the way. They certainly lost a few games, but crucially for them, the other challengers, notably Liverpool and of course Bolton Wanderers, Middlesbrough and so on, all faltered when Everton did. Here's Yobo. On to Pistone. Pires takes it off him and finds the magnificent Bergkamp, who finds another glorious ball. Now then, the referee had a long look at the challenge by Yobo on Henry and decided there was nothing wrong with it.
Well, I thought it was a penalty. I'd be interested to see it again. It looked like he clipped him to me, Yobo.
Here's Bent at the other end for Everton. Didn't take Thierry Henry long to get involved, did it? Been on the field precisely 3 minutes and might well have earned Arsenal a penalty, and now he's offside.
Well, that was tight as well. Very, very tight. I think with the original one, I think Yobo should have stepped up. Does he clip Henry? What's the skill? What's Yobo's trailing leg? Does he catch him? I think he does. Might well have been looking for it slightly, Henry. I think that was a foul.
There's Watson for Everton. Could be a useful cross. Bent was waiting for it, but Senderos got that ahead of him. McFadden. Watson's done well. Hibbert. Bent on the far post. Senderos equal to it again. And Pires has got the pace to change defence into attack in an instant here. Glorious ball for Reyes, who couldn't quite meet it with his head as he intended.
And again, that's going to be Everton's biggest problem. They've got to push forward and try and get a goal, try and get back into the match. As they do, all sorts of spaces are going to open up. And as we've already seen at the start of this second half, counter-attacking wise, Arsenal are simply a different class.
Foul's gone against Arteta. I can confirm, by the way, that James Beattie did go off because of an injury. It wasn't a tactical substitution. He has a knee problem. And a real stop-start career at Goodison so far for him. Of course, he didn't help himself by getting sent off against Chelsea in what was only his 7th appearance for Everton. And that led to a 3-match ban. There's Bergkamp, Henry. It's come through to Pires. It's 4.
But this time they're a bit fortunate, Arsenal. Pires isn't offside because it comes off an Everton defender. Lovely build-up play again. Henry's the man who keeps hold of the ball. It's Lee Carsley, isn't it? He wasn't offside anyway, regardless of who it come off. But again, the finishing, they just make it look so simple, Arsenal. I think what's always impressive is when you get in those positions, don't thrash it, don't try and smash it, just stroke it in the corner. There's Pires, knows exactly where the goal is, just cycled it in. Great finish. He's on a hat-trick.
He's now on 17 goals for the season. Last season was his best ever for goals as an Arsenal player. He scored 19, so he's got a chance of equaling or even bettering that. Lauren on to the goal scorer Pires. Oh, brilliant football again, brilliant. And in steps Everton's Arteta to win it back for them. And the Spaniard was fouled by the young Frenchman, Flamini. Now Watson. Good challenge by Campbell. Great skill by Reyes. Bergkamp. Here's Reyes again, off Yobo for a corner.
Well, I think Everton have got to be very, very careful because they quite easily could concede 6 or 7 the way things are going. It's not necessarily that they've been that bad, it's just that Arsenal are that good.
Against Liverpool, of course, Arsenal couldn't sustain it in the second half. Liverpool came back very well against them. But a 4-goal deficit for Everton here. Almost impossible to change. Lauren. Harmony. Bergkamp. Great ball, Henry!
And he wasn't offside as well. I think it's the right decision. But again, the vision from Bergkamp. Watch Henry. Goes in front of the defender. When it's played, he's not offside. Just fails to get a touch on it. Brilliant ball in. Great run from Henry. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get a goal before the night's over, Thierry Henry.
Everton have got to be careful, otherwise they'll go under to a big score here. It's big enough already at 4. There's no sign of Arsenal easing off. I think it was the start of the season, not the finish. 10 days' time, they've got an FA Cup final. And one more league game after this. But they're enjoying themselves, you can see that. Lauren, brilliant. Just only got that well. You almost feel sorry for Everton.
Well, you do. I think if you're looking at making a change at the moment, rather than an attacking change, you make a defensive change. Perhaps bring on Alan Stubbs and go 5 at the back or something and just try and damage limitation, really. There's no way they're going to get back into this match now.
Here goes Thierry Henry. Tees it up for Bergkamp.
Crowd would love to see him score tonight. I'd love to say Dennis Bergkamp's got to get them on target, but after the match he's had tonight, it's very difficult to criticise him too much. Leaning back slightly. And again, he goes for the curler, doesn't go for power, tries to curl it towards the top corner. I think they will take the roof off if he gets a goal tonight.
Arteta. Pires nips in to win it back. Throw in though for Everton. And a momentary release. Bergkamp. Well played, Yobo. Here's Bent. Whistle goes for an Arsenal free kick. Or is it a throw? Yep, he's given the latter. Bowden. Senderos gets his boot through it, good old-fashioned style. David Weir underneath it for Everton. Pistone. Ooh, there's a late challenge there by Flamini.
I think he might have to book him for that one, because it was late. He's not been that type of game. I think sometimes the referees don't have any choice. The ball's long gone and it's the trailing foot, isn't it? Cassius Pistone. I don't think Alan Wiley had any choice at all but to give the yellow card to Flamini.
Only 21, the young Frenchman who played 7 games in a row before he picked up a thigh injury. Over the head of Loudon. Going for a goal kick at least. It's Arsene Wenger's name that rings around this famous old stadium. And why not? They appreciate the quiet, studious university graduate from Strasbourg, a shy smile almost.
I think he waved, didn't he? Did he wave to the crowd?
No, he wouldn't be as demonstrative as that, would he?
Or was it just a smile?
As well as his fantastic league record, either first or second in each of his 8 full seasons, he's hoping to win the FA Cup for what would be a 4th time. Amazing, isn't it?
He's done fantastic. I think when he arrived in English football, many people were saying Arsene Wenger wasn't well known, but he's done a brilliant job.
Now, can Everton get something back here? Bent was well placed for the cross, but it never reached him. Yobo. Oh, we got lucky there. Now Hibbert. Good ball from McFadden. Stoney. Down to his outside. Bent ahead of him. And you could see what Marcus Bent was trying, but it didn't come on. Edu. Bergkamp. Perfectly weighted ball as ever to the feet of Reyes. Pires. Lauren. Flamini. Good challenge by Carsley. Marcus Bent rather carelessly gives it away, tries hard to win it back. And then Reyes presents it to Arteta. And lets that one run through to the young Spaniard. Kilban. There's Lee Carsley. Everton indulging in a little bit of possession football of their own. They haven't had too many opportunities tonight to do that. And they might have won a free kick there, but the referee's waved play on. And here come Arsenal again. Dennis Bergkamp. Reyes one side of it. It's come back to Pires, but a good challenge by Arteta. However, Reyes has it back again for the Gunners. Henry. Here's Edu. And Bergkamp. They just wait. They never do anything in a panic. Never do anything carelessly.
Just wait for an opening. That's exactly what they do. If it's not on, don't play it. Keep hold of it. It's possession football. And then just wait for a little bit of movement, injection of pace, and then they play the pass and play it superbly well.
Coming up to an hour on the clock, and it's been 60 minutes of total domination by Arsenal. In a way, you'd have to say the scoreline, impressive as it is, doesn't really reflect their superiority here.
No, it doesn't. Could have been a lot worse for Everton. Perhaps still might be.
Turning off for Marcus Ben. Flamini. There's Senderos. Good ball, Howard. Edu. It's Arsenal's final home game of the season, and they are most certainly signing off in style. And you get the impression that we haven't seen the end of the goal scoring yet. Still half an hour to play. Layman's hardly had a thing to do. However, he couldn't manage to keep that ball on the pitch. Arsenal are the only team in the Premiership who've scored in every home game. And Highbury has now seen a total of 70 goals for and against Arsenal this season. It's the penultimate campaign, of course. This famous old stadium, the new Arsenal ground. Just a long goal kick away from here. Growing up a pace now. You can drive past it on your way to Highbury and see just how impressive it's going to be. Just waiting to deliver the free kick here. I think Arsenal might be about to make another substitution. But in it goes anyway, and coming round the back, Kevin Kilban almost got his head onto that. McFadden. Watson. Ball looks for Reyes, who took a risk then against McFadden. It's that kind of night when everything's running for Arsenal, till that moment anyway. Yobo. Watson. It's not a bad ball. Marcus Bent gets there, but there's a suspicion that Senderos might have been trying to pull him back then. There was no great complaint from the Everton players.
Just skimmed off the pitch, didn't it? Good run from Bent and from Carsley as well.
There's Edu. The quick feet again by the Brazilian. Now Dennis Bergkamp. Wonderful. How did he keep possession then? Aaron's ball in.
Done right, Arsene, to cross the ball there, wasn't it? They don't normally do that. Again, great skill from Dennis Bergkamp. There's what, two players still got hold of the ball. Good ball from Lauren.
Well, Robert Perez will not be getting his hat-trick because he's being substituted to a standing ovation from Highbury. Wonderful contribution he's made. Now he's being kept in cold storage. And Cesc Fabregas, the 18-year-old who's had a magnificent first season in English football, comes on in his place. It's his 44th appearance of the season. And he's only just turned 18.
was going to say, for someone so young, been a fantastic first season for him. Can only get better.
It's been a very productive night for Arsene Wenger. He's given Campbell a game, he's given Henry a game. He's got a couple of goals out of Perez, and now he can afford to rest him for the remainder of the match. Here goes Ben, trying to bring Everton back into the picture. Wonderful defending by Campbell. Oh, but not the second time. I wasn't expecting the dross.
It wasn't. It was a good tackle in the first place, though, wasn't it? Ben's got pace, I mentioned it. Got to get it right, and he did.
Talking of pace, here's Henry, onto Reyes, Bergkamp far post. White just about made the telling interception. Now Flomini. And still Everton find those red shirts coming at them from all angles. Edo tries his luck from the range.
He's always rising that shot. Richard Wright was a little bit disappointed with the original one that came in from Reyes. He felt he should have caught it. He certainly hasn't been to blame for the 4 goals. Couldn't have done anything about them at all. The funny thing is, he's actually had a good game tonight. 4-0 down, though.
Started about half a dozen games back in January, Richard Wright, when Nigel Martin was injured. Made 22 appearances in his one season here after Arsenal signed him from Ipswich and won a League and Cup double. Senderos. Edu, good ball. Reyes, lovely ball. Thierry Henry. Good save. And Yobo just about made sure it didn't reach the on-rushing Fabregas.
Another good save from Richard Wright. The last thing you want to be a defender, particularly David Weir, is one-on-one with Thierry Henry. You know he's going to do you for pace. Good strike across the keeper, and a strong hand from Richard Wright. Yet another save.
And Manchester United will be cursing their luck, because it did seem quite genuinely at one stage that Thierry Henry was very unlikely to be fit enough in time to figure in Arsenal's FA Cup final squad. But providing he comes through this test tonight safely, it looks as though they'll have him available.
I think there's been some smashing football played by Arsenal tonight. I think the 2 things that Arsene Wenger will be most pleased about is certainly Sol Campbell, looking like he's going to play the whole game, and Thierry Henry back in the team as well. 2 big pluses for them.
And here he goes. Oh, Yobo now 3 times has denied Henry.
Well, he has 3 times. But I think it's worrying how many times Henry has been one-on-one with Yobo and with David Weir. You just can't afford a player of that class to be 1 against 1.
Reyes. Henry's there again. Lovely little ball. And Fabregas denied the opportunity to shoot.
Again, runners. The other player outside him, Henry, I think it was Bergkamp, chose to come inside. And again, Yobo with a cover.
It's a chilly evening here in North London, but Arsenal are warming us all up with the quality of their football. I don't suppose watching Evertonians would agree. Is that a handball? It was. Now, who gets to take the penalty? Henry or Bergkamp?
Well, that was interesting, because I'm not sure that the assistant actually gave it there. It's referee Alan Wiley who calls it. Was it the arm? Was it the chest? It's definitely the arm. Looks like the arm to me. They are complaining, but I don't think the assistant gave it. I think Alan Wiley gave that one.
There's a lot of discussion going on meantime in the Arsenal ranks as to who exactly will take this kick.
Yeah, well, I think I'm right in saying that Henry, if he's involved in being fouled or involved in the penalty, he doesn't take it.
Normally that's right. But it's Edu.
Yeah, what a nice touch.
Appearance.
What a nice touch.
His last game at Highbury, he could mark with a goal. He hasn't scored here, by the way, for over 18 months. The Brazilian says bye-bye to Highbury with a goal. And Arsenal move on to 5.
And poor old Richard Wright. I mentioned it, he hasn't done a lot wrong tonight. He does everything right here because he guesses the right way. But it's so far in the corner. He can't keep it out. Gets his hand on it. Can't stop it going into the back of the net. Nice touch to see Edu taking the penalty. Could well be his last goal for the club. 5-0 with 20 minutes left.
And a better memory for him than the last time he played against Everton back in November in a Carling Cup time, when he broke his toe playing against them. Arsenal 5, Everton 0. That is now 84 Premiership goals for the season for Arsene Wenger's team. 84. Not bad for the runners-up. Arteta. Bet. It's a good effort from that difficult angle.
It was a good effort. I think he'll do well to score from that angle though, Marcus Bent. Makes a good run. Just tries to strike it early. I think Lehmann would have had that one covered. I'm very disappointed to get beat from that position.
And Everton fans being taunted again. Champions League, they're having a laugh, is the cry from the Arsenal supporters. But they are, or almost anyway. They've still got a not inconsiderable hurdle of a qualifying round before they can take their place in Europe's Premier competition for what would be the first time in 34 years. Forget tonight. Their season has been one of excellence and consistency. Sanderos.
Again, good covering, isn't it, from Sanderos? I think McFadden was just a bit angry with himself. He didn't run a bit earlier because he would have got the ball before Sanderos. The young man's covering has been excellent all night.
Sing 1-0 to the Arsenal. Now it's 5-0. There's a late challenge there by Watson.
Well, he was perhaps a bit fortunate, Steve Watson, not to get a yellow card there. Wasn't a lot different to Flamini's. There you go, training leg, catches him. I'm sure the Arsenal players are arguing what's the difference between that one and Flamini's one.
There goes Thierry Henry, weaving his magical little patterns. Reyes. There's Henry again. He was inviting enough ball. Everton on the end of their heaviest defeat of the season, and Arsenal aren't finished with them yet. Oh, lovely football. Brilliant. Just a bit overindulgent in the end. But they've won it back. Everton look as though they've completely given up the ghost now. Senderos. And just as it looks as though Everton are going to threaten a period of possession again, Arsenal win it back. Watson. Hibbert. You have to say, if you've got to lose your title, it's better to lose it in the style that Arsenal have. Maybe no great consolation that to Arsene Wenger, but I'm sure sitting on the touchline he has enjoyed the quality of their football this season as much as their loyal fans have.
Well, I think he would have done. I think there's no doubt that the defeat they suffered at Manchester United and losing that unbeaten run, it did hit them hard. It took them a while to recover from it. I think at times some of the football's been real quality from Arsenal, and I'm sure they'll bounce back next season stronger and better, and with other players as well. He has got a transfer kitty, and I'm sure he will sign some players in the summer.
Mikel Arteta is going off, and he'll be replaced by one fella who certainly won't lie down in the last 15 minutes here. Duncan Ferguson, the only man left in the Everton squad from the last team to beat Arsenal at Highbury. That was 9 years ago, the last Everton team, of course.
Something always happens when Big Duncan's on the pitch. I'm sure it won't be any different tonight.
Good challenge there from Pistoni, and Arsenal another free kick. Henry. Here's Edu. Reyes. Henry. Reyes takes over again. It's a lovely ball. Bowden. Bergkamp. And he closed him down before he could do any further damage. It is Arsenal's throw-in. A little bit quieter than he was in the first half, but his overall contribution tonight absolutely magnificent. Oh, a slip suddenly has let Marcus Bent in. Senderos racing back to try and atone for the error. Well, it was more of an accident than an error. Watson couldn't survive the challenge from Campbell.
Well, he put his hand up, Senderos. It was a slip. It wasn't so much an error. The problem for Marcus Bent, he's up there on his own, had nowhere to go. Good covering from Sol Campbell as well.
A massive, massive final day of Premiership action on Sunday. Over on Sky Sports 1, we kick off at 2 with Fulham against Norwich. All the matches starting, of course, on the dot at 3, so no one gets an unfair advantage. Southampton against Manchester United is our chosen game on Sky Sports Extra. All the news from all the other games as Bergkamp looks to make it 6. That's the goal the Highbury crowd really wanted. Six of the best.
Well, apart from the Everton fans watching at home, is there any other fans in the country that will begrudge Dennis Bergkamp scoring that goal? Just a long punt down the middle. David Weir's the unlucky man, just tries to clear it. I thought he messed it up, Bergkamp, with the first touch. It was unlike him because it did squirm away from him a little bit. But the master knows where the goal is. And some of the finishing tonight from Arsenal has been world class. And that's another good finish. He fully deserves that, Dennis Bergkamp. If they don't see him in next year, they'll always remember that goal at Highbury. He's had a fantastic game.
A triple celebration for Bergkamp. He was 36 yesterday. He's just about to celebrate 10 years as an Arsenal player. Now he scored a goal. And listen to the reaction from the crowd here. There is indeed only one Dennis Bergkamp. Retire? You must be joking. On this form, he's still one of the best players in Europe.
He'll give him a 4-year contract in this form. Forget the age. I think there's a bit of a myth in football about age. Who cares how old someone is? If they can play like Bergkamp, just let him keep playing. Wrap him up in cotton wool if you have to. Fantastic footballer.
The only thing you do lose as you get older is pace. He was never particularly quick, and his mind is about 10 yards quicker than everybody else.
It certainly is. Yeah, the car coming up for Sol Campbell, I think.
Yeah.
Certainly a poor tackle on Duncan Ferguson. Tackle from behind, you can't do that anymore. You're quite right, Alan, about Dennis Bergkamp. He's never been the quickest of players. He has lost a little bit of that pace he did have, but his brain's just so much quicker than everyone else. I think he might be enjoying it tonight. Nearly a smile from the Iceman.
I don't think Everton are enjoying it. Can they get one back? Duncan Ferguson was close. Marcus Bent ball in. And now Edu breaks clear for Arsenal. Oh, that's a great ball for Reyes as well. And they're absolutely flooding forward here, the red shirts. Now, of course, what the Highbury fans really want to see is a goal by Thierry Henry. Just over 10 minutes to go, and the fourth best team in the Barclays Premiership are being slaughtered by the second best team. Unbelievable, Thierry Henry. That was worth the admission money alone. Reyes! Did I really see what I think I've just seen?
You did, and it was fantastic. We want to see the shot again from Reyes. It's the skill from Henry. We're not going to see it in this clip. The skill before then was absolutely brilliant. Good strike from Reyes. What assist from Henry. Not so much that one. What's this one? See ya. Brilliant.
It was Everton's misfortune to get Arsenal on a night like this. I think they truly, playing this sort of football, would have beaten anybody, and I'm including Chelsea in that.
I think they'll beat anyone in the world, no matter anyone in the Premiership on this form.
What a way to sign off your season. Foul there, I'm sure Everton would rather have had the advantage. Here have been told that the players will do a lap of honour, more or less, immediately after the game finishes, as Big Duncan leaves his mark. Philippe Senderos obviously doesn't know too much about him if he's challenging him.
No, but I said something always. Duncan's on the pitch. There you go. Don't get in the way of me, because I'll shove you over and put you in the holding balls. He obviously hasn't watched too many Everton games this season, because you know that was coming. Nothing more frustrating as a player to be 6 goals down and having a defender trying to rush the ball out of play. That was always on the cards from Ferguson.
Well, David Moyes is an honest man. I'm sure he'll just hold his hands up at the end of this and say, what can you do when they're in this mood? What can you do when Thierry Henry's playing like that? And Bergkamp, like he is.
We've lost count of the nutmegs tonight. It's been sensational stuff. I think David Moyes, I mean, it's very easy to be critical of Everton and say they've been poor, and they have been poor tonight, but I think it is one of those occasions to more sing Arsenal's praises rather than say how bad Everton have been.
Absolutely right. Fabregas. Henry with another audacious little layoff to Lowry. Doesn't get them all right, does he? No, he doesn't. Just about 9 out of 10. There goes Big Duncan again. Senderos perhaps has learnt his lesson.
I'm not sure he has he? If he had done it, a little bit of verbals as well there.
If he needs any toughening up, 2 games against Duncan Ferguson should do the job.
Certainly will. He's a winner though, isn't he, Duncan Ferguson? Won't take too kindly to coming on and his team losing 6-0. I don't think you can fault the Everton players for effort. It's not been one of those occasions where they haven't tried and they haven't put the effort in. I think they have put the effort in. They're just playing against a superb team.
Here's Ashley Cole, who's had one of his quieter games tonight. The ball, Fabregas to Reyes. Edu. Henry. A little party piece from the master. There you go.
It was a great ball in. It's turned home by Flamini for his first ever goal for Arsenal. The magnificent 7. There's another sensational goal. Watch Thierry Henry. Absolutely brilliant. A little bit of juggling. What shall I do with it now? Shall I sling it in the box? No, I think I'll just check back. Send the dummy. Great cross. This Reyes does brilliant, doesn't he? Cuts it back to Flamini. And that is not an easy finish again. Lovely ball from Henry. Great vision from Reyes. Half volley back. Finish into the back of the net. And he enjoyed that one as well.
Well, last season was a record-breaking one for Arsene Wenger's team. Tonight, they have broken another record. It's their biggest ever Premiership victory. And against an Everton team who have been so mean defensively all season. Ferguson on the far post, trying to get his head on that. From out to Watson. It's been that kind of night, though, hasn't it, for the men in blue?
It has.
Is he satisfied now? I think he is.
Yeah, just about smiling, Arsene Wenger. Look at the attempts on goal. You don't see that too often in a Premiership match. And even more telling, look at the attempts on target. 13. 7 goals as well.
It's now getting embarrassing for Everton. They're on the end of the biggest hiding any team has had in the Premiership all season. Nothing is going to spoil what has been a magnificent campaign for them. But this is a night they will want to erase from their memories very quickly.
They'd better make sure they don't concede 2 more goals before the end, because I think I'm right in saying Manchester United got 9, didn't they, against Ipswich many years ago.
That's right.
You certainly don't want to equal that.
When you think of some of the saves that Richard Wright has made as well, it could so easily have been around that total.
Yep. He's had a good game, the Everton goalkeeper.
Henry, is he going to add to the score? Not this time.
Well, he is human. There won't be too many times where Arsenal get 7 and the master doesn't get 1. I know he's only played the second half. But he's been brilliant since he came on.
I think you could say it's been a decent fitness test.
Just a little bit. I don't think Arsene Wenger be too worried about him in terms of the cup final. Might need to protect him a little bit in training. Give him a little run out of the weekend. But I think he's fit and raring to go for the cup final, as is Sol Campbell.
Not been a very good 24 hours for Manchester United. But May the 21st is another date, another game, another challenge. Wasn't a very good throw out by Lehmann. I think he's forgotten what the ball looks like. Everton just want to hear that final whistle now and get out of here.
I think they wanted to hear it at half-time and stay in the dressing room. It's got even worse in the second half.
So is the weather, by the way. Can you just check the calendar, TC? Is it really May? It's freezing.
It feels like January.
Flag had gone up long before Henry hit that one.
Was he offside? The problem is he's so quick, isn't he? Looking across the line, doesn't look offside to me. Look level. That was a good job for Everton's sake. He was given offside. You can see the frustration there from Henry. He wants a goal. I once played in a West Ham team that won 8-1, Alan, and I didn't score, and it is so frustrating. That's how Henry feels. 7 goals, hasn't scored. He wants to get one before the end.
Ferguson's header on as Everton try to pull one back at least. Here is Ferguson.
Oh, he's unlucky, the big man, because he tried exactly the right thing. Lehmann was off his line. It was quick thinking from him. Wins the original header, comes back to him. There's Lehmann off his line. He was worried. Just wasn't on target, though.
Reyes. Now Henry again. Taking him on single-handedly now. Good ball as well. 2 minutes of stoppage time. What a relief that figure will be for all Evertonians. They've proved their worth over the 8 or 9 long months of this season, though. Humiliating and embarrassing, though, tonight has been for them. It is merely a one-off, a very regrettable one, but a one-off all the same.
Well, tonight has been humiliating and embarrassing, but it won't change the fact that Everton are going to be in the Champions League next year. And let's not forget that. They've had a fantastic season. This has been a night to forget for Everton, night to remember from an Arsenal point of view, because it's been a privilege to be here and watch the football being played. But Everton will be in the Champions League next season. And it's important we don't forget that.
Hibbert. Cole and Edu go for the same ball, and the Brazilian produces a bit of trickery. Bergkamp. Seconds remaining of Arsenal's home campaign in season 2004-2005. And what a magnificent way they have signed off. Still one more game in the league to come at Birmingham at St Andrews on Sunday. I wonder what Steve Bruce's thoughts are at this moment, by the way. And then, of course, a week later, the FA Cup final at the Millennium Stadium against Manchester United.
I think Steve Bruce might play 9 at the back on Sunday, watching this.
Or at least.
Dear, oh dear. What do you do?
Is there another one in the locker? Reyes almost made it 8. Good save by Wright.
Yeah.
An embarrassed-looking David Moyes shakes the hand of a delighted-looking Arsene Wenger, whose team tonight have shown the whole nation the kind of football they're capable of playing. Dennis Bergkamp orchestrated things for them, particularly in a magnificent first half when he had a part to play in all 3 Arsenal goals. And then they added another 4 in the second half as they just turned on the style. Everton were blown apart. They simply had no answer to a display of breathtaking football. And the runners-up will be saying, bring on the cup final, bring on next season. And when you look around this Arsenal squad at the number of young players, and when you think that in a year's time they will be saying goodbye to Henry and moving into their magnificent new home just down the road, the future is still very bright indeed for Arsenal Football Club. Chelsea and Manchester United, and maybe others too, will still be challenging for the major honours in the game. But Arsenal are in the frame and will remain there for a very long time to come. I'm sure of that, Tony.
Well, I think they will. They will only get better. Some of the youngsters, Fabregas, Senderos, got some real class. Henry's improving all the time. When they move to that new stadium, They'll have more supporters, more income, which will give them more money to buy better players. It's been a fantastic performance tonight. I've really enjoyed watching it, and they will be back next season bigger and better.
How do you feel? I'm ready, says Thierry, I'm sure. Count me in for the FA Cup final. Edu not playing that. It'll be an interesting selection decision for Wenger to make, because Edu has said he will be leaving in the summer. So does he pick him for the cup final, or is this his farewell? It certainly is Highbury farewell, and one he marked with a rare goal from the penalty spot. Ashley Coles has got a hearing that he has to undergo next week, of course, into his alleged link with Chelsea. And Dennis Bergkamp, well, he's got some new contract negotiations to undergo. Or even, I think, in their remarkable, historic, incredible, record-breaking season when they went through undefeated, I don't think I saw Arsenal produce football of the quality we saw tonight.
I've got to agree with you, Alan. I think they had a fantastic season last year. I think at the start of this season, they played some really good stuff up until that defeat against Manchester United. But I think tonight, and I know Everton weren't brilliant tonight, in fact, they was poor, but you still got to play the football, you still got to create the chances. I think they was absolutely sensational tonight, and they would have beaten anyone in the world. And I've really, really enjoyed watching it.
David Dean leads the singing, the man who, of course, identified Arsene Wenger as the right man to lead Arsenal out of the shadows. Well, I say out of the shadows, of course, by their standards, they'd had a couple of fallow years. But my word, what a good choice Wenger was. The first Arsenal manager ever to win 3 championships. Top scorers in the Premiership last season. Top scorers again this season. 86 goals they got now, and still one more game to come. Last season they had the best defensive record. That honour, of course, went in this campaign to Chelsea, and that's the area I'm sure that Wenger will be looking at with a microscope in the summer months before Arsenal come back for another Premiership campaign. But you know, in all those recent run of wins, and that's 11 victories in their last 12 games now, Arsenal, apart from all the wonderful goals they've scored, have only let in 2 goals in the process. So maybe the process of getting that right has already begun. A wonderful, wonderful Arsenal performance. They have beaten, nay, hammered Everton by 7 goals to 0.
It's some way to end another season at Highbury, but there is more to come in the Premiership, of course. Survival Sunday, featuring Norwich at Fulham from 2 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. Southampton at home to Manchester United from 3 o'clock on Sky Sports Extra, and particular interest in how West Brom and Crystal Palace get on as well. 3 from 4 will be going down. Arsenal will be celebrating long into the night. George, was that as good, if not better, than anything you've seen from this Arsenal side over the past couple of years?
I think it's equal to it, but when they're on song like this, Marcus, they're the best. There's no question about it. The only problem this season is when they had a big dip, you know, they were vulnerable, you know, especially defensively. You know, and the difference between them and Chelsea is when Chelsea's had an off day, they've still picked up 3 points. When Arsenal's had an off day, you know, they've not picked up any points, and that is the difference. Consistency, Chelsea have easily been the best team. But Arsenal, on this occasion, and they've played like this a few times this season, probably the best football.
We should remember that Arsenal are only 4 points worse off than last season, when they more or less walked away with the championship, which just emphasises how impressive Chelsea have been, and the fact that Arsenal haven't been as bad as some people might have thought over the past.
I think it's been a good season for Arsenal, you know, considering last season undefeated for a whole year. There's no way that anybody can expect them to repeat that feat. And this season, they've again finished up top goal scorers. They've got a lot of points. It was just that Chelsea did better. It was as simple as that.
And they've put down something of a marker ahead of that cup final against Manchester United at the end of next week, haven't they?
I think I said before the game, I says the way Arsene have been playing recently, they're enjoying their football. It's not an effort, you know, it's not a chore. They're enjoying it, and that's the way they were doing today. And when they're on like that, you know, they're really on song. They're fantastic. But again, when they play Manchester United in the final, it won't be pretty like that.
I'm sure it won't. We'll take a break. There will be further reaction from Highbury when we come back. Hopefully we'll hear from Dennis Bergkamp. There was talk of this being his last game in the red and white. I think he's going to be in the red current next season, isn't he? Has been something special. Arsenal's biggest ever Premiership victory. Van Persie got the party rolling, and they didn't stop. Pires with a cheeky 1-2. Brilliant dinked header. Everton did not know what had hit them. Dennis Bergkamp pulling the strings. Vieira with a wonderful finish. 3-0 at half-time. So often teams just drift off in the second half with such a comfortable lead. Not on this occasion. Pires with his second and Arsenal's fourth. Then a handball. You've got to feel a bit of sympathy for Everton and Lee Carsley in particular. What else could he do there? But the referee said a penalty, and Edu marked his final appearance in an Arsenal shirt with a goal. Dennis Bergkamp, we think he'll be back for more. He made it 6. Thierry Henry didn't actually score, but he helped to create the 7th. Brilliant pullback from Reyes as well. Flamini's first ever goal for Arsenal. And that concluded the entertainment. Doesn't make any difference to the table, of course, but it's a further indication, perhaps, of what may happen next season. 83 now from 37, just 4 points less than they had, plus 52 goal difference. Look at Everton's goal difference, 0. And that's where the action happens at the weekend. If Norwich win, they know they're going to be safe, but Southampton, Crystal Palace and West Brom are clawing to escape at the death. Let's hear from the man of the match, unquestionably Dennis Bergkamp, and he's talking to Guy Havord.
Dennis, what a very special night that was.
Yeah, it was. I think it was fantastic for us to finish the season at Highbury like this. Great performance, a lot of goals, good football, so defence and everything.
Is there a part of you that fears it might be your last performance at Highbury?
Yeah, of course, as long as you don't sign a new contract. There's always some fear, but yeah, we'll see what happens in the next few weeks.
Did you sort of approach it like that? Maybe this might be my last appearance?
Well, it's always in the back of your head, of course. You always, there's always something, you think about this game, like the last game at Highbury, quite special, long time of my career, of course, and it's always in your mind, but again, it's hopefully we can sort something out.
It was a magnificent performance by the team, but by you as well. I mean, you created goals, and eventually you got that goal yourself. Yeah,
I was really hoping for that, of course. I think it's a special night, and there is space to play. We were playing well, creating chances, so this, I was looking for the goal as well.
What about the penalty when it was given to Edu? Did they ask you to take it first?
As well, yeah, but I think this was the best solution to have Edu there. Yeah, he's been fantastic for us, and we can always look back on this game with a smile, I think.
You said you hoped to sort it out. I mean, you had 38,000 Arsenal fans singing "One more year, one more year." I think you've got the popular vote.
I think so, yeah. I think they understand as well what I really want, and I think the club will be sensible as well.
Has it frustrated you at all that it hasn't been sorted out, that we are still speculating?
Yeah, of course. Again, as soon as you made up your own mind, you like to sort it out as soon as possible. They must have their reasons why it takes this long. It's not the first time, of course. It does take so long, so I'm a little bit used to it. But again, I'm quite confident that it will be okay.
Dennis, well done. Here's the Barclays Man of the Match, and hopefully we'll be giving you some more next season as well.